Say what you want about such Yuletide classics, such as Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, even The Polar Express. But I think there is no Christmas tale that has touched more lives than Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
Garbage Day? Garbage Day? Huh? No!
Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 stars Eric Freeman and is directed by Lee Harry. What's up, guys? We are gonna do Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Last year, around this time, I did the first Silent Night, Deadly Night. And I'll post a card up here so you can see that. And I'll also post a card to my Christmas horror playlist. That has that review as well as many other, Christmas reviews that I've done in the past. And I've done quite a few, but I don't like to do everything, in one year. I like to spread them out a little bit. So this year, I plan on doing a few more Christmas classics and maybe some lesser known Christmas horror films as well. Also, Shout Factory is just about to release a collector's edition for the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. I will post an Amazon affiliate link below so you can go buy that at Amazon. I believe it's like $17.99 right now. And if you like Shout Factory, then you know what you're gonna get. They load their releases up with great special features, usually new transfers, and the best cover art that you will probably ever find for these classics. Holy shit, so I was looking on my Facebook messages because someone was asking for a shout out, and Cody Leach actually got this Drumdums freaking t-shirt. Look at that crap. I'll post a picture of that up on here. I don't even have one of these yet, but that's that awesome lollipop cover art that Woody Bowen sent me. So yeah, I'm jealous. I want a Drumdums t-shirt. In the middle of my Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 review, and just blasted this picture in the review, period. How's that for real time? Question mark. But a quick shout out for Justin Adams. His favorite movie is the original My Bloody Valentine. So Justin Adams, per your message, there's your shout out, buddy. But we're gonna talk about Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. This movie is, I guess you could say it's a cult classic at this point. It's one of those movies that fits into that so bad it's good category. I constantly am gravitated towards watching this, and every time I watch it, I have a blast just completely ripping it apart. As a matter of fact, last night I listened to the audio commentary with director Lee Harry, which is a really good listen. And it's informative because he goes into details, the backstory on this movie and how it came to be. Originally, if you remember, the first Silent Night, Deadly Night was so controversial that they completely banned it from theaters. And so the producers were they were having an oh shit moment. Like, what can we do with this? We can't really make a dime off of it now because we can't even put it in theaters. Even though this came out the same weekend as Nightmare on Elm Street. This last week was the actual anniversary of this movie coming out in theaters. And it beat Nightmare on Elm Street, which is huge. And then all of a sudden it was just completely taken from theaters. And so the producers, they presented this property to Lee Harry and said, hey, cut this up and let's re-release it. Now, I don't know if they wanted to re-release it in theaters or if they just wanted to release it direct to video. I'm thinking theaters because this was 1987, 86, something like that. But when they took on this project, they couldn't really get too excited about it because this wasn't their material. And after they cut it up, they had like maybe 40 minutes of footage. So they shot their own footage, but they had such a limited budget that they couldn't make a full-length feature. So they ended up making maybe another 40, 50 minutes of footage, put the two together, and so that is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. So that beginning scene, when you see the psychiatrist talking to Ricky, you can tell that is just really low budget. They shot that in the basement of a VA hospital, and just a couple cameras and a room, and that's pretty much what they had to work with. And that was really to kind of weave all the already used footage from the first movie. Ricky was telling the story of what happened in the first movie, and then they would just weave all this footage from that room into the flashback footage. And then the second half of the movie is really the movie. But that's been the biggest complaint of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 since it came out. It's kind of like cheating. Most horror sequels, you get a quick little, maybe 2-minute recap, 5-minute tops. This was 30 minutes. And if you didn't know the backstory of that, hell, even if you did know the backstory of that, you'd feel ripped off. If you just got through watching the first Silent Night, Deadly Night movie and you threw in part 2, like myself, when I first threw this in, knowing nothing about the backstory, I was completely pissed. Like, what the hell is this? How can they make a movie and just use half of the footage from the previous movie? How can they get away with this? So I was really pissed. Everybody was really pissed. But the internet happened. This movie is hilarious. You know, if you look at the footage that's new in this movie, it's the acting is so bad.
You are being very, very naughty.
Naughty this!
But let me get into the plot before I get completely insane with this review. I know I'm all over the place, but the plot of this movie is the brother of Billy from the first movie, Ricky. He was that infant child in the car at the beginning. He was 6 months old. How he remembered the events of that traumatic incident, hell if I know. But this is a horror movie, and plausibility kind of falls out the window when you're dealing with slasher movies, and they had a story to tell, so that's what they did. But after these horrible events, Ricky, he moves in with his foster family, and he is just constantly plagued by the memory of what happened. Not just the memory, but, you know, it was a huge story. It tormented his life, really. And eventually he snaps. He just can't take it anymore, and he goes down the same road that Billy did. He starts killing people. Now, first off, I can't really do a pros and cons for this movie. It's one of those types of movies that everything's bad in it. But you could say, what is the good bad and what is the bad bad? I think it's all good. There's not a dry spot in this movie once you get past all that flashback garbage. It's a laugh riot. The acting in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is probably some of the worst acting I've ever seen.
You in a hurry, Doc? Am I wasting your valuable time?
When they auditioned Eric Freeman for the part, there was another actor that they auditioned who was much better, but he didn't have the look. Eric Freeman had the look, and they figured, hey, this is part 2 to a movie that, you know, at the time they thought nobody was going to see anyway. It was really a cash-in. So they hired Eric Freeman. You can tell that there's a little bit of talent there, but he takes it way too far. One of the best things about this movie is how serious it takes itself. And most movies like this, they get the joke. They realize that, hey, let's have some fun with this because we're not going to have great acting. We're going to have a silly story. But no, for some reason, this movie, like the first movie, takes itself so seriously that it's highly entertaining. But it still adds that horrible acting over the top of it, which makes it even better. And the best part of this movie is when Ricky flips his shit. That's when it just is a laugh riot. Eric Freeman goes so far over the top once he loses it. I think he's trying to channel a little bit of Jack Nicholson from The Shining, but he's not Jack Nicholson at all. He's the opposite of Jack Nicholson, I guess.
Drop it!
But you're just having a blast when you're watching this. And I can't not mention the iconic Garbage Day scene.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
The internet made that scene famous. You can go on YouTube right now and find tons of Garbage Day parodies, Garbage Day vids. The scene is just preposterous. It's great. It's hilarious. It's horrible. All at the same time. It's this perfect storm of shitfest. And I would imagine if you're putting a little bit of alcohol in your eggnog when you're watching this, you're going to have an even better time. Also, let's talk about the kills in this. There's only a few kills, but a couple of them really stand out. The first one being the umbrella kill, where Ricky approaches this, thug in the alley, and he impales him with an umbrella, and it goes through his chest, and then he opens the umbrella, which I thought was really creative. And then there's another kill with this guy, Chip, who's another over-the-top character, and he's trying to steal away Ricky's girlfriend. And of course, Ricky goes crazy and sticks a jumper cable right in his mouth. Also, there's this movie theater heckler that is just way over the top. He fits right in with the tone of this movie.
Soon. Let's go! Start the movie! Movie!
Oh, great. We have to listen to that for 2 hours?
And that guy deserved everything he got from Ricky. And that scene's hilarious. I swear this movie was made with cocaine. I think cocaine had a big part in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. This review could just go right off the rails right now, seriously. Also, Elizabeth Catan plays Jennifer, Ricky's girlfriend. You might remember her from Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. But she was really just a nice victim of circumstance. She was a good girlfriend, but she was dating the wrong guy. She was dating Ricky, and Ricky is just a complete lunatic. As far as the cons, I don't have any, because the cons are the pros in this movie. It's just a complete, insane laugh riot of a movie. You know, I think this is probably the Room of horror movies, and you have to witness it. I really don't know what rating to give this. I can't give it a Looped in Hell because I'm completely entertained every time I watch it. But it's a bad movie. So I'm just gonna give it a Humdrum. I think that's the safe ranking for this. I'm just gonna give it a Humdrum. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2? Looking forward to hearing them. I haven't seen the rest of the Silent Night movies. If I have, I don't remember them, but I might actually venture into Part 3 out of curiosity. Also, come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. On Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. If you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.